You're looking at the 2024 Honda Civic Type R, and I'm going to show you everything you need to know about this car. First things first, in 2023, Honda redesigned the Type R, and one would say this now looks a lot more tame, but it did get better, and I'm going to show you why. So despite this one looking a lot less souped up than the previous version, I think this got a lot more clean. First of all, you have a Type R badge with the R being red to match your red Honda right here. On the hood, you have a nice hood scoop that is actually functional and does release heat from the engine bay. And you also get this very clean dual grille setup with this nice black material, and this allows for a lot of room for cooling. And you also get some very clean but squinted looking headlights. However, if you really pay attention to the detail inside of these headlights, they look really, really good. And off to the side in the front end of this car, it looks like these are little air intakes, but they're not. And to finish off the front end of this car, you get this very, very clean black splitter in the front. Now, let's check out the good stuff. First of all, you don't get hood struts. You have to put your hood up the old school way, but under this hood is a 2-liter, 4-cylinder VTEC engine with a turbo attached to it. That makes 315 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. And I must say, this engine bay looks extremely clean. Well, for one, this has 600 miles on it, but in general, having that Honda badge and the Type R badge in there look really good. And this engine is paired with only a 6-speed manual transmission. Probably one of the last cars still doing this in 2024. With those power numbers, Honda claims you can do 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds and the quarter mile in 13.5 seconds. Let's push it and see how it feels. Ready, set, go. Also, the reliability rating for this engine is an 82 out of 100 after getting out of the Scat Pack, which was ticking at 20,000 miles and had a reliability rating of like 65 out of 100. This makes me kind of want this car. Now, taking a look at the side of this car, I'm sure the first thing you notice is that you get bright red 4-piston Brembo brakes in the front. And I did not expect that on a Civic Type R at all. Those look really good and they perform very well. Let's do a 60 to 0 hard brake test and see what it gets. Ready, set, go. Wow. Yeah. That's pretty awesome. Also in the front here, the Civic Type R is a front-wheel drive car. Now, most car people would say all-wheel drive's the best, rear-wheel drive is the second best, and then front-wheel drive is the worst. But Honda set this car up so it's actually not that bad. I will say when you're going into a corner and you're flooring it, you definitely feel the front end of this car sucking you in, but it's still a very cool experience, and it does corner pretty well. Yeah, it can do it. It can definitely do it. You also get 19-inch wheels in the front with Pilot Sport 4S's that are 265 in width. And I will say, they do the job. Now take a look at the whole side profile of this car. The biggest thing that stands out to me are those bright red Brembo brakes, but I will say this whole car does look really good. And if you couldn't notice from that last shot, you get a very nice black side skirt that runs along the entire side of this car. Now in the back, you also get 19-inch wheels. The tires are also 265 in width, and unfortunately, you don't get the Brembo brakes back here. These are only regular 2-piston brakes, but that's fine, I forgive it. Sorry, not sorry, but the back end of this car looks absolutely amazing to me. I will say the previous version is arguably a little bit better, but this one is so good. It's kind of hard to believe that you get this from the factory. A lot of these parts back here look like something somebody would do aftermarket, but no. First of all, you get this, probably my favorite part, tri-tip exhaust system right in the center with this beautiful black diffuser that kind of collaborates with the exhaust tips. I think that is awesome. But wait, this is a 4-cylinder engine. What kind of exhaust note does this car actually make? Take a listen. Now, just like in the front, in the back here, you get that Type R badge with the R in red and your red Honda logo. I am absolutely loving this white, black, and red color combination. And on the opposite side is your Type R badge, you get Civic. Now, also in the back, Honda kind of teases you again. These look like they're going to be functional vents, but they're not. You cannot miss this spoiler. This is one of the most uniquely placed spoilers I have ever seen. Look at where it's attached to the back of this car. It does look really, really good to me. It just takes some time for it to grow on you. When I first saw this, I thought it just looked odd to me. But, I don't know, odd is sometimes good because you don't want to just blend in with every other car. This one definitely stands out. Now that we're inside of this thing, let's take a look at everything you get in here, and this is nice. Right when you open up the door, first of all, door panel is not special. You do get some Alcantara and some red stitching on there, but take a look at the inside of this car as a whole. You get these beautiful Alcantara bucket seats with Type R right on your headrest, Type R on the floor mats, and oh my gosh, this thing only has 600 miles on it, so everything you're looking at, you're probably one of the first people to actually see the inside of this specific car. And right when you take a seat in here, you're greeted with this very nice little charm that Honda does for you when you sit down. Type R appears right on your dash, and also these seats are very, very grippy. I'm 5'11" and 175 pounds, and if you're much bigger than me, these seats may not fit you that well. Now, when you turn the car on, you're greeted with a digital gauge cluster. This is the normal one, but there's a little button to the right of us called R mode. If you press that, you get this super cool design that shows you only the stuff you need to know about when you're driving this car like crazy. Now, this car has a 7,000 RPM redline, but right when you cross 4,000 in this car, that power really kicks in. And I will say, this thing is fast enough. If you look at the speedometer in normal mode, you'll see it goes all the way up to 200 miles per hour. Of course, that's not actually the top speed of this car. And if you're in R mode, your mile per hour gauge is hidden in the very top right corner. Now, right when you turn this car on and start driving it, this steering wheel does feel really, really good to hold. It still continues that nice red stitching, and you get that bright red Honda logo right in the center of your steering wheel. I love the consistency of the color schemes throughout this car. And right in this center console here, you see that beautiful manual transmission. And this shifter and this clutch are some of the smoothest ones I have ever used in my life. If I were a complete beginner and trying to learn how to drive manual, this would be the car I'd want to try it on. And this car also has auto rev match downshifting, so as soon as you drop a gear, you don't have to hit the gas. It'll do it for you, and that feels so nice. It's my first time ever driving an auto rev match downshifting car, and now I'm addicted. Honestly, that's probably because I'm not that good at rev match downshifting, but oh well. Now, while we're in this center console, you'll also see there's a drive mode selector right below R mode. If you hit that, you can actually individually configure all of your drive modes. If you hit customize, you'll see you can configure your engine, your steering, your suspension, your engine sound, your rev matching, and your gauge cluster. And you get 3 options: comfort, sport, and R mode. But if you're in the Civic Type R, you just want to press the R mode button and put everything in R mode, because that's what this is built for. And this infotainment system is very responsive and satisfying to use. I will say, there's a lot of basics in there like Bluetooth, navigation, vehicle settings, all that. What really matters are those selectable drive modes if you're a true car person. Now, also in your center console, you have a wireless charging pad. Every modern car should have that now, because we obviously all have smartphones, and I've never actually been in a car with one of those, and that is so good to use. And right above that, you also get 2 USB ports. Now, to jump back behind this shifter, you get 2 cup holders, which go down very, very deep, oddly enough. And you get this beautiful Alcantara with red stitching cover for your storage space, which is pretty deep, and that's nice. You can store a lot of stuff in there. Now, if you look at the dash of this car, the big thing that stands out to me is this super cool hexagon-shaped thing that goes across the entire dash. And integrated inside of there are your air vents that you adjust through these tabs that you push up or pull down. And on the passenger side, you get that nice Type R badge. And right below your air vents are your knobs to adjust the whole climate system. And they have this very nice clicking sound, and they're very, very satisfying to the touch. I will say, Honda really exceeded my expectations with how this interior is designed. They went above and beyond with all of the materials, the stitching, the cool design. It's very different from all other cars I've ever been in. It's really the subtle things, like these red seat belts to match your red seats, with the red stitching, with the red Honda logo, with the red Type R badge. much. It's all so cool. I absolutely love how you can see that massive wing right in your rear window. And one big negative is that this car does not have heated and cooled seats. That is something I was really expecting with this car. And with these bucket seats, you do not get electronic seat control. You have to do all that stuff manually. But this is a very cool little like race car. I would rather have these manually controlled seats with these bucket seats. This whole combination is so cool. Now in the back of this car, first and most importantly, it is roomy enough. You can easily take 4 people in this car. Even if you have to drive an hour or two, I would be comfortable in the back despite being 5'11". You also get these very strange cup holders. They're like integrated into the middle seat, and you don't have a little pull down center console for the back. I've never seen that. It looks weird to me, and your leg or your arm could hit your drink, but nah, just don't hit it. And back there, you also have that beautiful red stitching with those red seat belts and Type R right on the back of the front seat, so your passengers can stare at the badass car that you have. Even inside of this trunk, the floor mat that's in there has this nice Type R badge in there. I think that is so cool. Now, we're getting a little bit excessive with the Type R badges, but that right there are all the Type R badges on this car. I think it's just enough. It's not really excessive. So all in all, this car would be a fantastic daily driver. It appeals to the car people because it only comes in manual. I think it looks fantastic and it is ultra reliable. This car is pretty awesome. But what's not awesome is that if you want to pick up a 2024 Honda Civic Type R, new from the dealership, you're going to be walking out with over $50,000 out of your bank account. But if you do spend that $50,000, you'll know for sure that this car will last you a long time, which is a pretty good reason to buy it. So, would you buy this car? And what version of the exterior do you like more? The new one or the old one? I think they're both great. I'm probably going to go with the old one, but this one is also very good. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.